Barakat was a beloved food vendor at the bustling village market of Akur. Her dishes were legendary, whispered about in every corner of town. People traveled from far and wide just to experience the flavors of her cooking. On busy days, when the crowd swelled, the dishes at Barakat's stall, Yared's store, would pile up, left dirty and unattended. To keep up with the demand, Barakat had a simple rule: wash your plates before I serve you. She'd insist, if you come with a dirty plate, I won't serve you. Without hesitation, customers would rush to clean their dishes, eager for a chance to taste Barakat's famous meals. With her commanding presence and sharp eyes, Barakat ruled her kitchen like a queen, ensuring every plate met her high standards before serving her mouth-watering food. Barakat's dishes were undeniably irresistible. One taste and you'd find yourself returning the very next day. Yet there was an air of mystery surrounding IAB Barakat's restaurant, one that piqued the curiosity of her fellow vendors. They often wondered what made her stall so consistently packed with customers, to the point where people lined up and even washed their own dishes just to be served. One thing that stood out was a particular pot Barakat was unusually protective of. She sternly warned her staff never to open it, and when she cooked, she remained either standing guard in front of it or sitting nearby, ensuring no one dared lift its lid. Only Barakat had the privilege of opening and closing that pot, adding to the intrigue that surrounded her kitchen. Furthermore, it was noted that Barakat had a secret routine. Each day before dawn, she visited a specific place, a habit only known to a fellow food vendor who worked on the same street as IAB Barakat's restaurant. What lay behind these peculiar behaviors remained a tantalizing mystery. Determined to uncover what made IAB Barakat's restaurant so successful, the rival food vendor grew frustrated as her own sales plummeted, with all her customers flocking to Barakat's stall. No one visited her place anymore. One day, a staff member from Barakat's restaurant revealed a peculiar detail. Barakat always guarded a specific pot while it was cooking, never allowing anyone to open it. She also had a strange habit of leaving in the early hours of the morning, returning just before daybreak. Intrigued, the rival vendor decided to follow Barakat the next morning to discover her secret. She carefully trailed her, hoping to figure out where Barakat went at such an unusual hour. However, to her disappointment, she lost track of Barakat's movements and was forced to abandon her plan. Meanwhile, Barakat's restaurant continued to thrive, drawing in more customers from every direction, east, west, north, and south. The demand for her meals soared, and her business boomed, leaving the mystery of her success unsolved. As the restaurant grew busier, Barakat needed more help, so she hired a young woman named Labake. Intelligent, curious, and determined, Labake was excited to start her new job at IAB Barakat's restaurant. On her first day, Barakat issued the same strict warning she had given to all her staff. Stay away from that pot. Don't open it. Curiosity gnawed at Labaka. One day, she asked a fellow employee why Barakat was so adamant about keeping that pot off limits. The colleague replied, "I have no idea. I've worked here for a long time and no one has ever dared to open that pot. Trust me, Labake, if you don't want trouble, just follow her rules and leave it alone." But Labake's curiosity only deepened. She couldn't stop wondering what was inside the pot that made Barakat so protective. The mystery consumed her thoughts as she silently questioned, what could possibly be in that pot? What could she be hiding in that pot that's so precious? Labake thought to herself. Determined, she vowed, I am Labake, and I must find out what's in that pot. One day, Labake's curiosity got the best of her, and she nearly opened the pot. But Yarat, Barakat's assistant, caught her just in time. Furious, Yarat scolded her, warning her never to come near the pot again. Yet, this only fueled Labake's determination. She was the type of person who wouldn't stop until she uncovered the truth. Labake soon discovered that Barakat left the restaurant every morning to visit a particular place, and she decided to secretly follow her once more. This time, what she found shocked her. Labake couldn't believe what she had just uncovered about Barakat's morning routine, but she chose to keep quiet. The mystery of the pot still lingered in her mind, and she wasn't ready to stop until she knew the full story. My name is Labak, she said to herself, and I always uncover whatever I set my mind to. One busy day at the restaurant, Labaka was consumed by thoughts of how to finally distract Barakat from her watchful guard over the pot. A plan quickly formed in her mind. Rushing over to Barakat, she started shouting, Madame, Madame, the shop is on fire! The shop is on fire! Come quick, come see! Startled and panicked, Barakat, without thinking, hurried to the front of the shop, desperate to check for the fire. In her haste, she completely forgot about the pot she had been guarding so closely. Seizing the moment, Labaki tiptoed toward the forbidden pot. Her heart pounded in her chest and her hands trembled as she reached for the lid. Expecting to uncover some hidden treasure or culinary secret, Labak lifted the lid with anticipation. But what she saw inside made her scream in horror. Instead of delicious food, the pot held a dark, ominous liquid, boiling blood. Labak's terrified screams echoed through the restaurant, drawing everyone's attention. Soon, the entire crowd stood frozen, staring in shock at the open pot, with its disturbing contents bubbling over the fire. IAB Barakat returned, her eyes narrowing as she took in the shocking scene. The pot uncovered, its contents revealed. She realized she had been caught. Before Barakat could say a word, Labaka, still shaken, began narrating everything she had discovered. Labake explained how she had followed Barakat early in the mornings and discovered that Barakat frequently visited a mortuary, where she obtained liquid used for washing dead bodies, which she then used in her cooking. Labake also uncovered that Barakat regularly met with a native doctor who gave her a mysterious substance to pour into the pot. Once added, this substance would turn into boiling blood. The more the blood boiled, the more customers flocked to the restaurant, drawn in by an eerie, supernatural force. Barakat, realizing there was no way out, began to confess. She recounted how, when she first started her food business, sales were so poor that sometimes she wouldn't sell anything for days. Desperate, she turned to dark magic. The boiling blood in the pot was her secret to success, pulling in crowds from far and wide. The more it boiled, the more customers came, unknowingly under its sinister influence. Barakat explained that in the early days, all her food would spoil and go to waste. She was struggling to make any sales, and with the pressing need to care for her children, she resorted to diabolical means. Desperation drove her to use water from washing dead bodies, and she added the boiling blood from the native doctor to her pot, hoping it would turn her business around. From that point on, sales skyrocketed, and she prospered, though through dark and unnatural practices. When the villagers heard Barakat's full confession, they were furious. They realized they had been unknowingly consuming food poisoned with mortuary water and deadly blood. In a fit of rage, they chased after Barakat, determined to punish her. She fled into the infamous evil forest, and to this day no one knows where she is or what became of her. The villagers destroyed her restaurant and expressed their deep gratitude to Labake for her bravery and courage. Had it not been for her, they would have never discovered the sinister source of Barakat's success. They were horrified to learn that they had been eating food made with mortuary water and cursed blood, but thanks to Labake, the truth was finally revealed. The story of IAB Barakat, the food vendor, came to an end, and from that day forward, the people of Akur became much more mindful about where and what they ate. And this lesson applies to you as well. Always be cautious about where you eat, because you never truly know how that meal was prepared. Thank you so much for watching my story. You haven't subscribed yet. Please support me by clicking the subscribe button. Don't forget to also click the notification bell so you'll be alerted whenever I post more captivating stories like this. See you in my next video. Bye-bye.